each meeting will be recorded. It just kicked in the recording now. This is, just getting acquainted with the tools I will be using, but I will make this available to you on YouTube. I gave you the YouTube link. Did anybody check the YouTube link that I sent? Did you get a chance to click on the YouTube link? And I didn't send it. Here, let me give it to you again. Hold on. Okay. Okay, hold on. One second. If you don't hear my voice, don't panic. I'm sending you the YouTube link. I'll put it in the text box. You just click it on there, okay? Okay. Everybody click on that link there. Make sure the YouTube link is working. You can subscribe to once you get on. That way, it will allow you to, as a subscriber, it'll tell you when new videos are posted. Good, excellent. All right, so I will continue then. We'll go with the fourth task, day 4. Create a business space in your home. This is important, obviously, for tax reasons, but we want to create an environment where we're just dealing with business. Try not to do anything else in there, watch videos or anything entertaining. We just want to make sure that it's really reserved for that space where we're going to be thinking about real estate. Okay, running numbers, communicating, stuff like that. Stock with standard office supplies, so keep all receipts. Everything that at this point is going to be a tax write-off, including our education and any costs that we need to we can legitimately claim for our business. Okay, get mileage logbook to travel with vehicle. Obviously, you can use that through a link. You can get it in any office supply. This is important for tax reasons again, and we can use it as a memo. We can add a memo. My apologies. You can add a memo whenever you're driving around. It's real estate related. Just type in the memo so you can track that. Okay. Any questions about those 5 things? Your computer, use a Mac when I'm planning to use this, but use it for school as well. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, obviously a computer can be used for a lot of different things. The business can be, you can claim obviously a computer on your business, so I don't think you'll have a challenge. Obviously consult your accountant and they will be able to assist you in what's legitimate, what's not. I don't think you're going to have a problem with that. That's not going to be a problem. Okay? Any other questions? And I will use my computer for both. Shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. Give me 1 second. I just want to pull something else out. Does everybody have the Excel sheet, right? Everybody's got the cash flow sheet? Okay. Everybody open up their cash flow sheet, okay? Open it up. Right now we're going to go through that together, okay? Pull something else out here. Okay. Second. Okay, I'm going to give you some Power Team links. Right now, it's going to be the guys that I told you about that teach our class, our asset protection class. I will be more than happy to also, for those of you interested, can give you someone that's that is, one second, that is also somebody that I deal with for contract law. But let's give you the links first for the guys that teach our class. Go. Okay. So there's an email, and that's their website. So Thomas Thermar, remember I talked about him in the asset protection class, about asset protection. Okay, if you don't have somebody in your area, you can use obviously anybody that you'd like, anybody else you would like. If you have a relationship already with someone, that's good too. You can use them. You want to let them know that you're a Rich Dad student so they understand where you're coming from. One second. Thomas Thermar, you can reach out to him if you'd like, who I deal with. Obviously you want to make sure the relationship is good for both of you, but also this is someone else you could reach out to and let them know your location and where you are, obviously where you're doing business out of. They will be able to direct you where to go. One second. Somebody else right there, Adnan Shabar, that's who I deal with. Okay, Adnan will be joining us from time to time into our meetings. He will share his expertise in corporate law and contract law more specifically. Also, Tariq Sifan, who is my financial advisor, and he also deals with mortgages and insurance and stuff like that. He will be joining us from time to time. Usually once a month I bring them on just to answer money questions. He deals a lot with private money and mortgages and getting people money for investing for real estate, institutional type of investing and obviously creative investing, okay? That's right, Azar. Yeah, asset protection, yeah. You can set up your corporations. Yeah. Okay. All right. Does everyone have their Excel sheet up? Give me 1 second. One second, please. So did anybody, I guess there were some challenges with getting the email with the contact information for this. Someone let me know that some of it went to the junk mail, but they didn't receive it. But I did send that out. Just notice this email menu, address, receipt. Cool. All right, give me 1 second. Just having some students ask about it. Okay, there we go. All right, good. All right. Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate those. Are great. Okay, let's. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Okay, and I'm going to show you the Excel sheet. We're going to go through it together. Okay. Does everybody have the Excel sheet? Does anybody not have it? Let me actually do something here. Okay, let's put that up. Let's put up. Okay. Okay, does everybody see those two files on the window there? In that window, cash flow sheet and tasks for the week. Okay, just click on those and you can download them right now. Okay, if you already have the cash flow sheet, don't worry about it. But the tasks of the week, everybody can download that tasks of the week. That's basically what I just showed you. Okay, and that's what we want to get done this week. Someone let me know that they've downloaded it and it works okay. The link's okay. So everybody's good? Okay. There's some other files I'll share with you in the coming weeks. Right now, this is all we need. I want you to really look at anything else. Right now, it's really about understanding the cash flow sheet and learning to work with it, okay? All right, 1 second. Let's do this. Okay. Does anybody need more time for those sheets? For those links? We all good? Okay, I'm going to assume we're all good. All right. Okay, can everybody see that okay? That little black box that you're seeing is in this on the screen is the window that I use to see you, to be able to see your questions. Okay? Just going to make that a little bit bigger. Okay? Okay, really doesn't matter. This is just a list of a property that I had. We can. It doesn't really matter what we have in this. Does everybody have their sheet up? We're good. Okay, good. So you can put 123 Main Street in here, whatever property. If you have a property, remember I told you to use this to put your own property in. Okay, so let's say that we have, $350,000. Well, let's make it a duplex. So let's say it's 500,000. 3, okay, and the units are going to be 3 units, and let's say each unit's going to produce 1,000, which is 36,000. And you can see when I put 36,000 in, it tells me that each unit's producing 1,000 a month. Okay, let's pretend that we have some laundry income, but you can put that in: laundry income, vending machines, parking, or any other income that we're producing. Let's say the laundry in this unit is producing, let's say 2,000 a year. Okay, now that's going to bring us our effective gross income. So all income must go in here. Okay, all income must go in here. Okay, don't worry about the percentage number that's been pushed up. Don't worry about that. Okay, okay, so that's just to reflect something else. I don't want you to worry about the percentage number. I'll come back to the numbers that matter. Okay, we'll focus on what we need. All right. So here, taxes, let's say the taxes on this are, let's go, 5,000, okay? That's going to produce a monthly cost. Let's say that the insurance on this is 2,500. Water and sewage, let's go 3,000, okay? Gas, let's say that they pay their own stuff. That can work. We prefer that actually. Utilities is 0, okay? This could be any additional costs that you don't see listed in here, but we want all the information here, okay? All the information, any costs, and all costs must go in here, okay? Every single cost. Now, if we go to here, let's say that there's no other costs at this time. Go to here, and you see the maintenance is 13,000. You can see that what happens here, if we look at maintenance at this level, okay, that the maintenance says minus 29%, 11,925. What it's telling us is this has been, there's a whole lot of maintenance being done here, and possibly, if you ever see these in red, it means that there's a possible opportunity to extract or reduce the cost of the expense of that particular area, whether it's vacancy, maintenance, or management, and it will alert us to the possibility of reducing that so we can increase our cash flow. Okay. So let's make this 0 for now, okay? And we see that automatically what the sheet will do for us, is it will tell us that the vacancy at minimum, it's going to give us a 5% vacancy, okay? That's 5% off the gross, okay? Maintenance, 5%, that's automatically going to be put in. Now, could that be higher? Absolutely, could be higher. It's an older building, 5% should exceed, but really 5% is a good number. that we can use to as a minimum to maintain a property, and management is 10%. Now that could be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but I'd rather you side on the air of a little bit extra than less. You want good management at your property. Now, if it's self-managed, that's a different story. But in this case, this is a multi-unit, so there will be some sort of management fee or cost. Even if we're paying somebody on site, there's still going to be a cost. So that's going to be automatic, okay? Yeah, we have those expenses no matter what. Okay, good one, Richard, great question. So this is what I want you to do with any additional, if you have costs, contractor costs, okay? So contract as in, I have to rehab the property. To get a true number of the rehab, I want you to add it to the price. So if we bought a property for $500, there was $50,000 in estimated rehabs to get it to a retail level, then I want you to add that to the whole amount, the price. So this would turn it to $550,000, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're paying more for the property, right? We're always trying to understand what does it cost us to get it to a retail state. If we have to add additional monies to get it to a retail state, then that would be absolutely something that would go into the purchase price, okay? 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Just want to respond to text here from a student. Okay. Second. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, wait. The property he's looking at, perhaps you could use that property as an example. So what I want you to do is put the information in the property, and then we can review that on our next call for sure. But right now I just want to explain what it is, and make sure that all the numbers are in. You can ask any questions about it, and once you start having these filled out properly, you can send them to me, and there'll be a point where we'll talk about the metrics that matter, and you'll realize relatively quickly if it's a property you should be spending any time on. Okay. All right, Robert, did you put the numbers in the property already? Do you have a complete sheet? Who has the property? I'll use the old one. Okay. So transfer that information in. Just make sure you get all the numbers. All the numbers should be in there, okay? Now, before we go any further here, okay, once we put in the expenses and the income, now we have something called total operating income, $18,000. We have net operating income, $19,900. Now, you can see the amount of the percentage of the gross income, right, 47.6 and 52.4. That's established from that, right, the 500, sorry, of the 38,000. So the 38,000 is what comes in, gross dollars that come in. And then we see that total operating expense is 18,000. It takes up 47.6. Net operating income is 19,000. That means after we take our expenses away, we're making 19,000. This is telling us how much we're making specifically from that gross income. Okay. Okay, give me a sec here. Just sending an email out. Apparently, one of our team members here didn't get the email or can't find it. I'm sure it was sent out. It somehow got misplaced. Hold on. Okay. Okay, just sent that out. All right, hopefully they'll be able to get on the call. All right, okay. So when we come down here, financing, okay? Now, financing obviously can be all over the place on what we're going to use. You see this in red. The reason it's in red is because any amount that's under 5 is considered residential. Anything over 5 is considered commercial. So when you see this in red, all you got to do is change that to 80. And that's going to be 20, the second one. And they'll go green, okay? So 80% because it's residential. It's residential, okay. But if a house, do we put 1 unit in? Yeah, just put 1 unit in. Absolutely, okay? All right, so I can see somebody's listed themselves as guest. Just moving forward, you know what? Let's put our name in. Just put your first name in only and put where you're located from. So if you're located from Montreal or Vancouver, just put, your first name dash Montreal, okay? That's all we want to put in there. Put your name in just so I can reference when you're asking a question. I see someone that's logged in as guest. That's okay. Or put no name in there. No worries. That's okay. Okay, so moving forward. Because I record these and I want to put them on YouTube. If you're uncomfortable putting your full name on there, that's fine. It's a private channel, but that's not a problem. Okay. One more second. Just gonna resend an email again. This is what usually happens in our first few meetings. Our first meeting really only. People have a challenge with getting on, so I have to resend a couple times. Here we go. Try it again. Get that. Okay. All right. For triplex, let's see, residential. Well, triplex, we put, this is for triplex. You put the amount of units there and the gross income over here, okay? So you put the amount of units in this one, okay? Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. There we go. Can you hear me now? There we go. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. All right, we're good? All right. So we were talking about financing. I was talking about financing. 80-20 for residential is what we're going to look at. And residential is going to be 4 units or less. And if you put on your cursor on that little red angle there, you'll see that it gives you a message. You know, this says based on the number of units, if 5 or greater, the cell will appear red if it's not 65. The reason is on a commercial property, typically you're going to get 65 financing in your first mortgage from an institution. Okay, so if I change this, say to 6, it'll automatically, now see the 80 becomes red until I put 65 on there, and here we're going to put. We could put actually 25, and it automatically says 10 remaining, and that could be the down payment on this. Okay, so again, we're dealing with a residential property. It's going to be okay. Over here, we'll change that to 3, and that will appear green. Okay, all right. Okay, now here's where the numbers really get interesting. Okay, So you see coverage ratios 0.60, but let's look at the key success indicators, which also covers coverage ratio, okay? So cash on cash return is infinite, and that means that we put no money into the property. That would be considered good, but the objective is 30% or higher. In this case, we haven't put any money, so it's going to be higher than, it's going to be considered infinite. Now, average profit per unit, minus $256. That's telling us at the end of the month, we're losing $256 per unit, okay? We talked about this, minimum we need $75 per unit, okay? GRM is gross rent multiplier, okay? That's gross rents divided into the value of the property. That gives us a gross rent multiplier. Not as important. It's a great thing to use for quick calculation. You can use the 1% rule, which simply means that your income from your properties, you know, if there's something there, if there's an opportunity there, you know, if you're getting 1% of the value of the property, let's say the property's, you know, in this case it's 500,000. We were making 5,000 gross income from the property. The GRM, it would be good, and that would tell us that there's a possibility. Obviously, we'd have to look at the expenses. That's why we run all the numbers. Okay. So in this case, the GRM is not good at 13.616. The lower, the better with this. Here's the big one I want to excuse me, look at is cap rate. Cap rate is probably the most important thing that we want to look at. Everything really comes from the cap rate. You know, all metrics matter, but cap rate we need that to be around 10, which simply means that if the property was completely paid off, we would we'd be making a 4% return. Does everybody understand that? So if this property here was paid at $500,000, it was a $500,000 property, and it was completely paid off, okay, we would make 4%. Does everybody understand that? Does that make sense? Any questions about that? You good? Okay, so some people typing. You keep typing. I'm going to keep going. It's like a ratio type. Well, we call it cap rate because it calculates. Okay, no problem. The GRM. We'll come back to the GRM. The cap rate is telling that because the only way to compare, you know, investments, real investments, is understanding what the return is. And in this case, cap rate gives us an idea of what the value, against the value, how much are we making? A 4% return is not enough against the value, whatever value this was. This will, obviously the value will change if this goes up or down, but we want to know, you know, how much are we making, you know, if we had completely paid this off. Now this is going to be affected, obviously, the value of the property and the income that we're going to make are going to be affected by expenses and financing costs overall. When we're looking at your return on investment, right, cash on cash return, that just looks at how much have I put in and how much am I making from that return, right? Net income over property value, right? Yeah, exactly. So we want to know the net operating income, versus the actual value of the property, as though we paid it off, and we're not paying off for properties, but it gives us a good idea if there's an opportunity. If you're in a 7, you know, if your cap rate turns out to be a 7, 8, 9, 10, it's something 7, 8, 9. We can work a 7, 8, 9 close to 10. So it doesn't mean the property's no good if it's not a 10. But if we can't get it close to a 10, typically we're not going to hold on to that property. Okay. So let me give you an example. Something here. If I drop this down to 360,000. Okay. 360. There we go. Okay, see what happened to the cap rate? The cap rate went up to 5.5. Okay, it's still not at a 10. You see the GRM is better now. It's a 9.46 GRM, right? 6 is really good, but 6.47 is not terrible. 9.47 is not terrible. Again, we're gonna want to get closer to that 6 range. Now, the average profit per unit we see is better for us because the overall cost of carrying the property has gone down because now the mortgage is less on the property. Okay, the cost per unit is not as important when you get into, if you're in a triplex or you're in a duplex. It's not really going to make sense to assume that we're going to get $45,000 or less. That's just a range. But if you're gonna know multi-unit, 10-unit, 15-unit, you're gonna, 45,000 per unit or a cost per unit doesn't matter. It gives you a better idea of per unit. Okay. Coverage ratio refers to, of the income that you're bringing in, how much more do you have left over after you cover the debt. Okay. And it's saying that right now we're at 0.95, which means our net operating income does not cover our debt service. Now, the banks are going to want to know about that number. That's an important number to a bank. Okay. In this case, what is it telling us? Can anybody tell me? If the coverage ratio is less than 1, right, which typically means the net, it's telling us that the net income, after we pay all our expenses, we don't have enough to cover the debt service. We don't have enough to cover our debts. What do you think? What do you think it's going to tell a bank? What do you think the bank's going to do when they see something like that? Yeah, it's losing money. It's losing money. That's right. Yeah. So the bank's not going to like to see that. Would they give you a mortgage? Well, they could if you're a high income earner and they didn't, you didn't mind losing money. But if we see coverage ratio of less than 1, it means after you pay all your expenses, you don't have enough to cover the debt. Yeah, one is just covering. Yep, exactly. 1 is break even, right? We'd like to see that coverage ratio 1.2 or higher. So let's take this down to, well, it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about the number, because we're going to see that as we go down here, we'll see actually what the property is worth to us and how these numbers now will adjust based on the value that we put on the property, okay? So if we come back here and we see valuation based on property value, it tells us that based on the income and expenses, this property is worth $199,000. Okay? Look what it was. It was $360,000. I brought it down for $500,000. This is what it's really worth to us. $199,000. Okay? Anybody a little bit shocked? Anybody? You're gonna find a lot of the properties for us are a lot more than we would actually pay for. We're not okay with overpaying for properties. So this tool really helps you to not only assess what your maximum offer price can be, but also it tells you quickly, should I be spending time on this property? Okay, how can you deal that triplex? This triplex we would not be able to make a deal on it because it's too far away from the price that we want. You can't come back to somebody that's $360,000 and then say, look, I'd like to bid $199,000 on this, right? And really, we wouldn't bid $199,000. We'd bid less because that would be our maximum offer price. Okay, at $190, yeah, it's amazing. At $199, yeah, that would be nuts. Yeah. So at $199, look what happens though. This can go to 80. Okay, this will go to 20. Okay, so at $199, what happens? We look here and look. The cash-on-cash return, infinite. There's no money in it. But look at this. Average profit per unit is $190,000. The GRM is 6.24, below 6%. Our current cap rate is 10. That's exactly where we need to be or higher to hold. Our cost per unit, $66,000. Not as important in this case, right? $45,000 what we're looking at, but that could be relative. Not a huge number to worry about. But you see coverage ratio 153. What does that mean? It means that we're paying all our bills, servicing our debt, and we still have money left over. So that's a great thing to see, okay? All right, does anybody have any questions about that so far? Yeah, it tells us what the property is worth to us. I mean, it could be worth to the person, what, $360. That's not crazy to see that price. But to us, to buy and hold this property, this is only worth $199,000. Okay, it's worth $199,000. GRM is gross rent multiplier. So gross rents divided by the value of the property. Gross rents divided by the value. So the gross rents, we take this, divide it into here, that's where you're going to get your number. Okay, gross rents. Okay, that's just a little bit higher because of the vending machine income. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, I'll break these numbers down again for you. I don't want you to worry or panic. Okay, we're going to go through this again next week. Okay, I don't want you to worry. Okay, all I want you to do really is have fun with it. Put numbers in, see what happens. See what happens. Start throwing numbers in. Those of you who have properties, I want you to make sure you put those numbers in for your properties. and I want you to send those to me directly, okay? And we can review them, and if you're comfortable with it, I'll share it with the rest of the group. And I really love doing that because I want everyone to learn from the experience of everybody, okay, each one of us, okay? And that way we can accelerate that learning. All right? Now, if we come down to offer price, yeah, so let me go, okay, so GRM here, I'll come back to GRM, I promise, okay? Stay with me. GRM, I'll come back to, okay? So let's go down here, just a quick look at it, okay? So this also helps you understand what you'd make as an offer price, okay? So let's do this, I know. Let's make this, say the property was 225,000. That's what the list price was, 225,000, okay? So it's not too far off, 225,200, right? So look here, list price, value of the price, 199. So it's not a huge difference between the two. And you can see that up here, the numbers were okay, were better than they were at 360. So the cap rate's 8.8. It's a little bit low, so it's going to adjust for that. It's going to say 199, okay? Are you going to cover how we are supposed to deal the property to 199K? So we're not actually going, this property would be too far away, you know, a 360 would be too far away for us to deal. So we wouldn't even negotiate a deal like this, right? But what it does for you is it tells you quickly if a property is worth looking at. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to waste time. I don't want you to look at this property. I want you to get the numbers for this property, run the numbers, and see if it's even worth us looking at, okay? It's very important to us to not waste time. So use this tool to quickly figure out, is there an opportunity and should I be spending time? And not yet, but I will get into, you know, what do we do with cap rates that are smaller? What do we do with deals that are not deals that we might hold, but maybe we could wholesale or flip this property, okay? But you're not ready for that just yet. I just want you to have fun with the sheet and play around with it, okay? All right. Yeah, it's it's unreal. It's unreal. What do you mean, but is it real? The market's overvalued, yes. Yes, for the most part. I want to get into, not yet, but I will get into cap rates and what market cap rates are and what we should be looking for and what, how to understand what those numbers mean. Yeah, it's a great tool. You'll love it. You'll love the tool. Okay? So great question, Carolina. The way we're going to get, how does anybody know how we're going to get these expense numbers? How are we going to get these expense numbers? Yeah, we're going to reach out to the realtor, the owner, right? And I'd really like it. I'd really like it if you used email to ask these kind of questions from them. You don't need to get on the phone, but you just send them a quick email and say, could I get a complete, income and expense sheet? What's the income and expenses on the property? Okay. Now, what you typically don't see on that income expense often is vacancy management and maintenance. That's why it's automatic in there, because typically you won't see it. They won't put that number in. So the property looks better than it is if you don't. Obviously, if we don't add these numbers in, obviously the numbers are going to look much better. So we want to make sure vacancy maintenance and management are always in our expenses. Okay, even if they're not allowed. I'll give you an example. So let's say the management. They tell us that the management is $2,000 a year. Okay, you can see what this does. So the management's $2,000 a year. What this does is it says, hey, it's $2,000 a year. That's 4.7. It's below what we believe we should be paying. So it adds $1,800 and adds that expense. Does everybody understand that? So even though the management's listed, if it's too low for us, we actually add money to it. We add money to it. Okay? If it's your own property, do we leave that vacancy maintenance management? I would rather, Christopher, I'd rather those numbers be there, because at the end of the day, Christopher, if you're managing the property, I want you to allocate a value to that, okay? And I want you to take that away from your income, because that's important for us to understand if it's worth it. I would rather you don't manage your own properties. I mean, if you are managing your own properties right now, this is why it's important for us to look at it. And we always want to, bring properties on to us, with the idea of, hey, you know what? We're not going to manage these properties. It's not going to take away from our time. If a property can't be brought onto our portfolio and allow us to step away from it and it get managed and there's maintenance done and vacancies taken care of, we want those costs allocated, and we want to be removed from that responsibility, okay? Because that's the only way we can keep adding properties, right? We can't add properties indefinitely if we're managing them, because there's only so many properties you can manage. And of course, our pursuit is time, right? We want time over money. We do want money, absolutely, but we want to be the ability to do both, get both, okay? All right, so if we go down here, and we'll get deeper into this stuff in the coming weeks, okay? If we go down here, we can see that. So if I can change that to 80, it automatically bumps 10. I could even go 85. And what this is 85 for that first off, that price here, this 199. So this is what first offer, 169. That's 85% of the list of the price we want, 199. That's our maximum offer price. Okay, is 199. Okay, and off the list price, that's 75% of the list price. Okay. Then with VTB, remember by VTB, this is where we're asking them for financing. We always offer them more for VTB, right? If they're willing to finance and help us with financing, we'll always offer them more. 189 is 95% of the value of the price that we want, right? Which is the 199 is a maximum, and 84% of the offer price, right? So it's not a huge discount from this list price, 84%. It is a discount for sure. It's about 15%, but it's not impossible, right? This here, okay, I don't want to get too deep into it, but this is, again, I told you, remember I told you I give you two offers. I go two offers with the VTB. So VTB interest and principal, right? VTB interest only. So you can see a VTB interest and principal. It's just a mortgage, right? It's just like a mortgage. So I'm saying, give me a second mortgage at $39,800. The term is 5 years, amortization is 30, and the interest rate is 5%, which is a little bit higher than the bank rate now. It's about 2% higher, okay? The monthly cost I will pay you, seller, is $212. The yearly is $25.48, and I will give you in 5 years a balloon payment, which means pay the outstanding amount of mortgage for $36,521, okay? But, Mr. Seller, if you're okay with interest only, what I can do is it'll be the same amount, $39,800. The term will be the same. Obviously, amortization doesn't matter because I'm paying interest only. And I will be willing to give you 6% instead of 5%, right? And what that will do is, although it's a lower payment per month, you're going to make more money at the end of the term because you'll be getting the full $39,800, including the yearly amount of $2,388. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? If it doesn't, don't worry. I don't want you to worry about it. We're going to go through this slow again, okay? We'll go through this several times. I want you to understand it. But you can start to see, what this sheet helps you do is start to really quickly develop, steps on what do I do, with a property. How do I know it's worth what it's worth? Is this property overpriced? For us, the most important numbers are listed here. But at the end of the day, look, we get involved in these properties for income. And if the property is not producing income, do we want it? Do we want this property if it's producing income? No, right? No, yeah. So, and you don't want to waste time on properties that are so far priced they don't make any sense. We want to know that we're getting involved in real estate. We're solving a problem. We expect to get paid. If we're holding the asset, we want to make sure that we're making money. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to do 5 property valuations this week. Okay, and if anybody comes across a property that's, say, got a cap rate of 7, 8, 9, 10, you can send it to me. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll share it with the group next week. Okay, those of you who have existing properties, put your numbers in, and I want to share with the group next week. Obviously, if you have questions, you can email me. You have my contact information. I'll be with you all week. Okay, I don't want you to worry. If you get jammed up, you don't understand what's going on. If it's a question that you feel like you can wait till next Tuesday, great. But if you need an answer, I'm okay. Email me. Okay, email me. Text me if you're in an emergency situation. I'm available to you. Okay. Okay. So, but since majority of these houses are overpriced, how do we get the right price? Okay. So what it is, very much so. What it is us getting a property, running the numbers, and if it's no good, pass on. If it's good, then what we're going to do is we're going to hold on to it. Okay. We're gonna continue to negotiate and run through the process. What we want to be able to do is to quickly evaluate properties, get them out if they're no good, and if they're good, let's do something with them. Okay, that's the game of the game. Okay, it's not to waste time with properties that are not valuable. Now, we don't know what their value is until we know the income and expenses, but this helps us do it relatively quickly. like 20 and they all lost money in the spreadsheet. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's what you're going to find out. What did I tell you? What did I share with you all? Okay. How about the information we get is not correct? So if the information is not correct, that would be something that would be covered in our exits through our contract. If they were deceiving us with those numbers, we know. Most people are pretty honest with this stuff. If somebody gives us, it's usually numbers are missing. It's not that they don't give you the numbers, the accurate numbers. Most of them, it's they're missing. The numbers are missing. Okay, so regardless of us, what they put in, we're always going to have, in our agreements, we're always going to have the ability to exit out of the clause if it's not accurate. What they share with us is not accurate. Okay, we protect ourselves for sure. Okay, question. Any other questions? See some people typing. Okay, any questions about the sheet? Because I'm gonna go back to the other screen. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the other screen then. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. Okay, so what I'll do throughout the weeks, you'll see this, and you'll see this on the videos. What I'll do is I will do something like this. Hold on. We will do 1 second. Share. Let's do a whiteboard. So from time to time, as we go through this, because sometimes it's just better this way, okay, is I will bring this white sheet up, and I will start to write, okay? So, I'll give you an example, GRM, okay? I'm explaining GRM, okay? Gross, oops, okay? Okay, so gross rent multiplier, so gross rent multiply, oops, reverse, fly, there's supposed to be an ER there, okay? Gross rent multiplier, okay? All right, that's what GRM is, gross rent multiplier, okay? Now, if I wanted to look at gross rent multiplier, okay, so let's say that, 1 second, okay, so let's look at, okay, so let's say that a house, let's do 100,000 because it's easier, okay, 100K, okay, produces $1,000 per $1,000 for, that's gonna suck. I don't want to get too complicated, so let's not use 1,000. Let's use this. I want you to take, so when you see a property that's valued at say 100K, take the rent, right, per month, okay, gross rents per month times 12 divided by value of property, okay, property value. Does that make sense? That makes sense? Everybody? So if the rents were, let me do this in math, so the math doesn't get crazy, easy, but you can do this. Let's say the property divided by 12 was $834 a month. So 800, they said, okay, well the rent here is $834 a month. Okay, we say okay, we take $834 a month, $834, and we multiply it by 12. That's $10,008. So $10,008 and $8. Okay. Now if I take this amount, this gross amount, and I divide it by the value, which is 100K, what is the GRM? GRM now is divided by 100,000 is 10. GRM is 10 point something, but 10. Does everybody see that? That means basically if I took the gross rent, and I took it then in that gross rent, if I multiplied it by the GRM, say 10 times, in this case it's 10, but 10 is not the number I want you to focus on because it'll mix you up with how it's valued. But yeah, you got 10%. It's the other way around. It's here. To get you the whole number, you reverse that. So here, let me show you. For simplicity's sake. Hold on, one sec. For you to do the GRM, I want you to do it this way. I just did that way. I want you to take the value, 100K, divided by $10,008. Okay? That's the way I want you to do it, to get you that whole number, okay? Do it that way. Okay? I reversed it by accident. Okay? So it doesn't give you a percentage. I was thinking cap rate. Okay? So we take $100,000, right? 100K, divided by $10,008 is 9.9999. So 10. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, the way I did it was inversed. Usually calculating cap rate. That's where it came from. My apologies. So it's actually the reverse of that. So let's try a different one. Okay, we'll try one more together before we wrap up the call, so we understand GRM. Okay, so let's do one more. So someone give me the numbers on a property that they have or know of, and we'll do it together. Okay. Okay. Who has a property right now? Give me a property with income. Okay, so 230. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. Let's do it together. Okay, we're calculating GRM. So okay, GRM. Okay, so the value of the property. We're using this one, right? 230. Do you have income on that, Lori? What's the monthly income? Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. So let's do this one. Let's go 230K. They tell us, oh, the property's, 230K. We say, well, what's the monthly rent? They say, well, the monthly rent on this property is $1,200. And we say, okay. So we go 1,200 times 12 equals what? What does that equal? Who can tell me? 1,200 times 12 is? Yes, 14,400. We say great. So what do? We take 200. I should put that there actually. Hold on. Okay, so 14,400. Then I take the cost, the value of the house, 230, and I divide it by 14,400. And what does that give me? Equals 16. So it's not a percent. It's not a percent. It's a gross rent multiplier. So 16, is that good or bad? Is that good or bad? No, it's not. We want it to go down. We want it to be lower. We want it to be lower, not higher. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's the stuff we learn. So no worries. We want it to be lower. Well, look. Let's do this. If we took, let's do another one. I'll do another one so you can understand. Okay? Because the lower it is, the more income you're bringing. Okay? So let's go, and it's okay. You're gonna learn this stuff, I promise. Okay? It's okay. This is how we learn. Okay? So if I go, let's do this. Oops. Let's do new whiteboard. Okay. Look, if I do this, if I do, so let's say that the house again was 230K, okay? 230. But the income per month was $2,500 a month. Okay? Say it was $2,500 a month. Then what would I do? I'd take 2,500 times 12. What does that equal? Who can tell me? $30K. 30,000, good. Good. So 30,000. So what do? I take 250K divided by 30,000. What does that give me? There we go, 7.7. It means that the income, the yearly income, goes into the value of the property 7.7 times. Or is it 8.3? Let's see. I should have said yes straight away without checking. Let's go. 250,000 divided by 30,000 equals, it's 8.3. It is 8.3. No worries. Okay, 8.3. So when you see the number lower, my bad. Check it. That's all right. If you see the numbers lower, it means your income is, or your value of your house is better, right? Because it means it's a lower value compared to the income. And we want more income, right? So when we start getting into 16, it means that the income that we're bringing in is probably not going to be enough to cover the expenses, okay? When we're in the 8 range, we're in an area where we could make a little bit of money. But it's only a quick multiplier, right? Yeah, you're probably losing money on something that's 16. Yeah, at the end of the month, it's probably losing money, okay? But again, that's just a quick calculation, right? Does everybody understand that? It's a quick calculation. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it can tell you relatively quickly, you know, if there's an opportunity on the general sense. We'd have to still run the numbers, okay? But if you're running a property, if a property's got a 20 GRM, it's way overpriced. Based on the income, it's way overpriced. Remember, income is the most important thing. Income versus value, right? Versus price is the absolute, you know, crux of what we're doing, of us recognizing if there's an opportunity. To be really good, what would the GRM? 6. Yeah, 600 would be just outstanding, would be great. Doesn't have to be a 6 though. Doesn't have to be 6, but these are areas, you know, I want you to understand those numbers are there to protect us, right? And they want us they want us to identify where there's an opportunity, where there isn't. And if it's around the number that you saw, that 6 number, we're okay. If it's way off that number, you know, if it's 18 is the GRM, it's probably not going to be a deal for us, right? It's probably not going to be a deal. And what you'll start to see, you know, and it's amazing. What you'll start to see is you quickly recognize and realize what's an opportunity, what's not. You know, because you start to, and we'll talk about this, farming your neighborhoods, farming areas that around the city and around the country, where you'll know that the incomes do not justify the value of those prices, right? Just doesn't justify. Is it impossible to be at 0 lower? No, that's impossible. Well, I mean, it is possible. I shouldn't say it's impossible. It is possible. That would mean that the income that you're making is equal in 1 year, is equal to the value of the house. So that would mean that the property was I put 250. You know what? Somebody put in 7.3 and they were right. You know what? Somebody put in that. I apologize. I changed this price. It was 230 and I changed it to 250. That's why somebody did that. The GRM's probably right, was 7.7. Okay? Everybody see that? I don't want to confuse anybody. But I made the price 250 instead of 7.6. Okay, good. Sorry about that. Okay, so going back to GRMs. I mean, you know, if you were at a 0 GRM, it would mean that if the value of the property was 100,000, you'd be making 100,000 in income in a single year. So you're not going to have a 0 GRM. You know, a 1 GRM, which that would be that divided by that would give you 1. So you're mostly going to find properties in the higher double digits, like 10, 11, 12, 13, when you're looking for properties. But this gives you a better idea of what to look for. You know, what are you looking for? You know, what should I be paying attention to? In this area, say that the income numbers are around 15,000.
what should I be looking for in the way of prices? And you can avoid wasting time with properties that just are a waste of time. And you're going to find that in the retail arena, most of those properties they're not worth what they're saying. To us, they're not worth what they're saying. Okay, there's some numbers behind that I will share with you in the coming weeks. I'll explain why the market looks the way it does for the most part, where these numbers come from. At 6.1 or so, are we still making money? Oh yeah, you could be making money at 8. Christopher, you could be making money at 8. Yeah. So don't worry too much. GRM is one metric. We'll go through the rest of the metrics in the coming weeks, okay? So, but the big thing I want everyone to do, can everyone commit to doing 5 properties this week? Good. Excellent. Okay. Now, tomorrow, it'll probably be tomorrow, the next day, you're going to get a call from, over the next 2 days. You're going to call from Baz, and you're going to get a call from our office. Jerry's going to give you guys a call to touch base with you and make sure that you're set up, you got what you need. And all of you, I want you to take your momentum. Your first class is going to be momentum. I want you to take that as soon as you can. Momentum sometimes will fall on the same day as as our call, our weekly call. Now, does everybody understand our weekly call is regulated at 9:30? Yes? Everybody know that, right? 9:30. Okay? So moving forward, everybody, 9:30 Eastern is when we're going to be doing our call. We started a little bit earlier just to acquaint you with the sheet. Okay? All right? The other thing I want to let you know is next week, is it okay that online, the online, yeah, the online momentum. So I want everybody to take momentum as soon as it's available, because that's going to get you the foundation. Start your classes right away, okay? That might not be happening for a couple weeks for you guys. I think the next one starts in a couple weeks, but they'll let you know. Jerry will let you know. As soon as it does start, though, go to it. Don't worry, your Tuesday call will be here waiting for you, okay? And the recordings are always there. They're going to be posted in a couple days. You can just watch the recording, okay? But I don't want anybody to not take a class so you can be in this. That's not what I want you. I'm here to support you and coach you. I want you to focus on your classes so we can build on the knowledge you get, okay? What else? Next week, we will be Tarek, the mortgage broker and financial advisor, my friend and team member, will be on the call with us. He'll be sharing some more information about money and how banks look at your money and your qualifications. He'll be sharing with us next week. A couple weeks after that, we'll be having Anan again, who's my contract lawyer and corporate lawyer. He's going to talk to us about contracts, okay? Okay, I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up for the night? Everybody good? If you're good, no? Oh, you're not good, or you don't have questions? Okay, YouTube content. Yeah, the YouTube. I gave you the YouTube link. Everybody got that YouTube link, right? Good. So the YouTube link, I think it's still here. Let me see. No, that's not it. Hold on one sec. Let me post the YouTube link to you 1 second. Okay. So go to the YouTube link that I'm going to paste in here, okay? Okay, everybody, there it is. Thanks, Christopher. So that's the YouTube link. Subscribe to it, okay? If you subscribe, it'll tell you when the new videos are up. There's a bunch of videos right now for that. If you subscribe, you'll see all the videos, and you can start to watch those videos, okay? Good. I'm glad you did the homework. Good. So five each, okay? Those of you who have properties, use the properties you have, okay? Use the properties you have, and send them to me. And we'll deal with them together, okay? Okay. What question am I answering? Sam, can you share any accountant content info? Yep, I can. You know what, though? You know what? The guy that I gave you right here, hold on. Thomas Thurmeyer. You guys reach out and check that website out. Thomas Thurmeyer, his accountant. Ted Ted's information will be there too. Okay, Ted and Thomas are the people that teach our class. Just, it's above there. You'll see it. That link. Did everybody get that link for Thomas? Everybody get Thomas's email? Yes? No? Okay, no worries, no worries. I'll get it for you again. Hold on. So Thomas is a good man. You guys are gonna like Thomas. Okay, wait, hold on one second. Let me check something real quick. Okay. Hold on. Thomas. There we go. Alright. So look at this. I put it up. I go to find it, somebody puts it up already. There you go. There's Thomas's information. Email, phone number, everything, okay? Okay. Any questions before we wrap up for the night? If you're good, type in yes or why. Good stuff. Good stuff. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so next week when you folks log in, please put your name, dash, and where you're from to let the rest of the group know that where you're from, so we can start using each other as a resource, okay? Because we have people from Montreal, but we have people all over the country, right? All over the country. We're gonna have a lot of fun doing this. I want you to be excited and motivated and get ready to put in the work, okay? Just put in the work. Over the next 12 months, we're gonna get our, that first property, and we're gonna start building our portfolio, okay? That's what I want us to focus on. It's step by step. I want you to stay with it. Do a little bit every day, not every day. My apologies. Do a little bit 5 days a week. Don't do it 7 days a week. At least take 1 day to yourself and enjoy the experience, okay? And for some of us, it's going to take us a little bit longer. Some of us a little bit shorter. It doesn't matter. Every one of us is going to get there if we stick to it, okay? Yeah, a couple hours every day. Perfect. A couple hours every day. A little bit of learning, a little bit of earning. A little bit of learning, a little bit of email, a little bit of learning, a little bit of phone calls, okay? So we'll get there together. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to, where do I get the sheet? You didn't see the sheet? Okay, Lazar, just give me 1 second here. I don't know what your question was, but we'll get to it, I promise, okay? Here we go. Files. Hold on. Okay. There. Cash flow sheet. You see it? You can download it there. Sean, you got it? I think everybody's got this already, but I'll put it up again. That was the sheet we were talking about. Sam, have you have some questions about the Momentum books? Are they going to be shipped? Oh, okay, yeah, Lazar, yes, they will. Baz checked off who had it. When you talk to Baz tomorrow, make sure you let him know. Make sure you let him know that you didn't get your book. If you didn't get your book, Momentum, and he'll ship that out to you, okay? My apologies, I missed that question. Okay, is everybody else good? We good now? Yes? Yes? Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of fun in the coming weeks because I have a huge chunk of our students that are going into that are in Momentum now. So before you know it, I mean, these rooms are gonna get pretty big. Right now we have I think 23 are on now. When we're full tilt, it'll be closer to because people will be in classes, so we're probably never gonna see full tilt, but we could have 50 or 60 people on here. It'll be great for letting them know where you're from, okay? First name only, where you're from. That's how we'll do it, okay? All right, excellent. I want everybody to have a great night. You reach out to me if you need anything, questions. Please send those properties that you already have so we can evaluate and decide what to do. And I want to congratulate everybody again, okay? Keep up the good work. Keep pushing forward, and we will have a great year together, okay? Awesome. Okay, so in a couple days this will be posted. You'll get a notification as long as on the YouTube you're going to subscribe. Okay, so subscribe to the YouTube so you'll be notified for new videos. All right, awesome. Everybody have a good night and keep hunting. Okay, keep looking for those properties. We'll get there.